If your idea of Chernobyl is a barren wasteland, you're missing the story. In the shadow of history's worst nuclear disaster, life finds a way. Chernobyl's dogs are evolving to survive radiation, but that's not the only story. In 2022, amidst the chaos of war, Chernobyl faced another near catastrophe. Brave workers stood their ground, preventing a second disaster. Historian Serhiy Plokhy warns us, the danger isn't over. Nuclear safety is still on the line. This is Chernobyl, where the past refuses to stay buried. April 26, 1986, 1:23 a.m. The lid of Reactor 4 at the Chernobyl nuclear power plant begins to tremble. Moments later, shockwaves ripple through the building. An explosion, a fireball, and the world's worst nuclear disaster is set into motion. That night, workers at Reactor 4 were conducting a routine safety test. They wanted to check, in the event of a power failure, can the turbines continue spinning long enough to power the water pumps until the backup diesel generators kick in? The test had failed before. They were hoping this time would be different. To raise the power again, control rods were pulled out, a violation of safety protocols. Only 8 out of 211 control rods remained inside the reactor. The minimum allowed was 15. The reaction started to spiral. At 1:23 a.m., they hit the emergency shutdown button, known as AZ5. The control rods began to re-enter the core. But then, boom, the rods had graphite tips, a fatal design flaw. Graphite speeds up the reaction, so inserting the rods actually accelerated the reaction before slowing it. The power surged to 33,000 megawatts, 10 times the normal level. 6 to 8 seconds later, the first explosion. Seconds after that, a second, bigger blast. The 1,000-ton steel and concrete lid blew off the reactor. Fire, radiation, chaos. Radioactive material burst into the sky. 192 tons of uranium fuel were in the reactor. At least 5% of that was released. More than 100 radioactive elements were scattered. One helicopter crashed, 4 lives lost. Many more would follow. But the disaster had only just begun. Chernobyl cost the Soviet Union an estimated $235 billion. This included emergency response, cleanup and decontamination, relocation of thousands, long-term health care, and environmental restoration. And the costs didn't stop there. Even today, Ukraine spends millions every year maintaining the site. It was a hit the Soviet economy never fully recovered from. Many historians believe Chernobyl was the beginning of the end for the Soviet Union, which dissolved just 5 years later. Chernobyl sits in northern Ukraine near the Belarus border, but the fallout reached far beyond. Radioactive clouds traveled across Europe. Spain, Sweden, the United Kingdom all recorded abnormal radiation. In the United Kingdom, radioactive rain fell. An area of 30 kilometers around the plant was evacuated, known today as the exclusion zone. That zone is still mostly abandoned. Nature has taken over. Wolves, deer, lynx, wild boars, once gone, now thrive. With humans out, wildlife came back. But radiation left a mark. One radioactive element released, iodine-131, gets absorbed by the thyroid gland. Children who drank milk from cows exposed to iodine-131 suffered most. By 2018, the UN reported over 20,000 cases of thyroid cancer in children exposed to Chernobyl radiation. This wasn't a short-term disaster. It stretched across decades and generations. After the explosion, there was still danger. Beneath the reactor was a radioactive water tank. If the molten core reached the water, it could cause a third massive explosion, worse than the first two. To stop this, 3 volunteers risked their lives to drain the tank. In full gear with a single flashlight, they dove into radioactive water. They succeeded. All 3 survived, heroes who may have saved millions. Machines failed near the core. Radiation fried their circuits, so the Soviet Union sent in people, 600,000 liquidators, firefighters, soldiers, engineers. Many received dangerous doses of radiation. Many died. Many more suffered illnesses. They removed debris, built containment structures, and sealed off the reactor. In November 1986, the first sarcophagus was completed, a giant steel and concrete tomb to contain the core, but it wasn't made to last long. By the 2010s, the original sarcophagus started cracking, so a new safe confinement was built. $3 billion completed in 2019. It's designed to last 100 years. Even today, 2,400 workers manage the site. Most work only 2 shifts a week, constantly monitored for radiation exposure. The rest of the power plant stayed operational until 2000, dismantling it completely, ongoing, and expected to finish around 2028. Chernobyl changed everything. It led to the founding of the World Association of Nuclear Operators, or WANO, in 1989. It pushed new reactor safety designs, like using water as both coolant and moderator to prevent runaway reactions. Chernobyl was not just a nuclear accident, it was a human one, a political one, an economic one, and a warning that echoes to this day. Thank you for watching.